Hello and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast. I'm Catherine Haleko and I'm here with Terri Morrow. Say hi, Terri.
Hello.
Usually on this podcast we talk about parenting issues, but once a week Terri and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. So this week we have 2 episodes of One Day at a Time to talk about, as well as a movie we watched for a challenge round. And then we thought we would do a bonus topic for this week and talk a little bit about what the rest of our households consume, especially for TV. So what's going on over at the Morrow homestead?
Well, most times if you walk out into the living room and my husband is home and watching TV, he is watching an old episode of Perry Mason. He is binging Perry Mason episodes from some channel that shows them. One of those channels that has old TV shows. He tapes them and then he watches them when he has a chance. So there's a whole lot of Perry Mason going on in our house right now. And it's fun because periodically he will call me in to see some actor or actress in their very young days playing a suspect or a murderer or a potential victim.
Right.
And that's sort of fun. Before this, it was Westerns. He was watching, sort of binging on a whole bunch of old Westerns, but now it's Perry Mason. And that's cool. My son doesn't watch any TV, but my daughter does watch quite a lot of things in her room. She watches a lot of YouTube. But I had to laugh. Yesterday, I came in and she was watching a show. I think it's called The Mick. Has Caitlin Olsen from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which I never watched, but I read about enough to know who she is. And I watched a little bit of it with her. And then she said, she said something like, "This is the most disgusting, awful show on TV. I'm surprised it's still on." And I'm like, But you're watching it. That's why it's still on. People are watching it. It doesn't matter if you watch it because you think it's wonderful or you watch it because you think it's awful. If you watch it, you are going to
play.
One hopes you will continue to be watching it. So those are some things that have been watched in my house. How about you? What are people watching there?
Well,
I enjoy your son's taste in TV.
No, my son has the TV taste of like a 60-year-old. He went through all 4 seasons that were on Netflix of Madam Secretary. And
oh my gosh. I'm amazed there are 4 seasons of that.
Yeah.
This is like those shows that you pay attention to when they start and then you completely forget about them. And then years later, you're amazed to see that they're still on.
That's still on. Maybe it was 3 seasons that were on there and the 4th one is airing now. I'm not sure, but whatever it was, he watched everything that was available on Netflix, and he
digs him some Tia Leone.
Yes, apparently he does, and Tim Daly. So he watched that, and now he is watching NCIS, which we have watched also on this podcast. For this podcast, we did a challenge round. So I was able to, impress him by knowing who Leroy Gibbs was. But then he'll ask me about other characters. Yes. I watched 1 episode. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll ask me.
I know,
I'll give you the deets.
You know all the
yes. I haven't been watching it from the very beginning, but I have been watching it fairly faithfully for a long time because that's one of the shows that my husband and I watch together. All the NCISs and Hawaii Five-0 and a lot of those CBS things, though not Madam Secretary. But all the procedurals, the law enforcement procedurals, they're delightful that you can kind of guess what's going to happen. And my husband is not happy with NCIS lately because when Michael Weatherly left, they just added a whole bunch of people. And so he resents the watering down of the cast. He thinks there's too many people. There's all these people. I don't think it's as good as it used to be. So, it works perfectly. No matter how many people they put on, it's perfectly wonderful to do work in front of and, podcast tweets and all that. I find them very good multitasking shows. And so that's why I watch a whole bunch of those. And the things that really demand my attention sit on the VCR unwatched. Hi, Speechless. How you doing?
Yeah.
Just keep building up.
And what I think is funny is that with both of these shows, for my son, Madam Secretary and NCIS, he could be watching new current ones, but he doesn't because he wants to watch on like an iPad that he can cart around with him. He doesn't want to sit still in front of an actual television.
Well, there are many people who would tell him that the earlier episodes were better, so he could just be snooty that way. And there's certainly enough back episodes to watch.
He'll be occupied for years.
A young adult
with this stuff. So
before he gets especially if he then goes into the NCIS LA and the NCIS New Orleans. There's just a rich vein of NCIS related stuff that will last him until he is, in fact, a 60-year-old and in the appropriate demographic.
Yes, and my husband has discovered Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Jerry Seinfeld, which I find hilarious because he really hates the show Seinfeld. Like, he hates the sitcom. You know, back in the day when everybody was watching that show and everybody liked it, he was the person who did not like it. But now he likes this version of Jerry Seinfeld, the one who goes through the drive-thru and gets coffee with people and talks to them. So I think that's funny. Yes.
Alrighty. That is funny.
And then my daughter, I don't know, she's still watching like YouTube tutorials, and she'll watch Project Runway and Survivor. Like, she'll watch shows like that, but, you know, completed seasons so that she can just watch the whole thing. She wouldn't, like, sit and try to watch it every week. She'll watch old ones so that she can just plow through the whole thing. So it's interesting the way people consume.
Yeah, I think my daughter is the most adventurous viewer of us all because we often see things going by on the DVR like, who taped that? And it will be her. She's just sampling it, you know, just going to try it out. If she doesn't like it, she can delete it. But she saw something that looked interesting on the guide and thought, I'll give that a chance, you know, zombies or also, I think she likes that show, The Good Doctor. I think she still watches that. I'm not sure. But as
with Richard Schiff.
Yes. That's, I think, the number one. I was looking at the top shows on TV, and it was pretty high up. So many people are watching it. But is there anything that you watch together as a family? I don't think we have anything.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
We used to watch Phineas and Ferb together. That was such a good show.
We used to watch a lot of children's stuff together, but not now. My son has pretty much given up on TV. So
even like the Olympics, there was a little bit of watching the Olympics together, but my husband and I calling, figure skating's on, luge is on, come on you guys, and they'd be like, yeah, I'm doing something. Well, come on guys, this is such a good opportunity. Like,
come on. Yeah, I can sometimes get my daughter to sit down with me, but she often falls asleep if she sits on the couch, which I often fall asleep if I sit on the couch too.
We know that couch has that effect on
it's a new couch, and it has inherited the sleep-inducing properties of every other couch I've ever owned.
We do sometimes, once in a while, we'll watch like Treehouse Masters or Tiny House shows or Fixer Upper, those kind of things can get, you know, a critical mass of two or three people to watch. Yeah. So that happens.
Pretend
sometimes.
That you're watching together.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, one of the things I watched with my daughter last night was the episodes of One Day at a Time for today.
There you go. So let's talk about those. We've been watching season 1 of the One Day at a Time reboot that is on Netflix. And this past week we watched 2 episodes, Viva Cuba and Sex Talk. So how was it watching Sex Talk with your daughter?
She went to bed before that one. I didn't watch that one with her. I watched the first one, and she was nodding off even then. But my husband walked through the room, watched a small part of it, and fled. So I don't think he liked the first one either. I mean, the original either. So it's not his thing. But there was am I remembering correctly? There was a luge joke, right? On one of these? I think it was the first one.
Yes, because
when they were talking about their
office
dreams.
mate, the annoying fellow
he said he
nurse.
was a loser, and then they made the loser joke.
Yeah.
And I thought, Catherine, a luge joke.
Thank you. So these were on our scale of like sitcom-y, funny versus issue-y. These ones were a little more issue-y than the
they were kind of in the
ones. Not totally.
They were in the middle toward the issue side, with not as much of a laugh riot as some of them, and definitely had more on their minds. They were fine. I enjoy the funny ones more, but as we have discussed, but they were fine. I sort of knew where Elena's storyline was going because I heard people talking about the last episode of the first season, so I knew that was coming. But I think I've narrowed down what my problem is with Elena is that the actress playing her in no way at all looks 15 or 16. She's supposed to be 15, right? Because she's having her quinceanera. Yeah. She looks way too old. And I looked her up. IMDb, she doesn't have her age down. But on Wikipedia seems to feel she's 20. And that seems about right. So it doesn't... I'm not getting those... This is a 15-year-old kind of vibes from her. And every time I see her, it bothers me. It's just like she's too old. And I don't know back in the original how close the kids were to their ages, but does she seem too old to you, or does it not bother you?
It hasn't jumped out at me, and I do have a kid about that age. So yeah,
really?
I've and I guess I've seen a range of kids that age.
Yeah,
so.
Maybe. That's true. I don't have great experience with that.
I mean, having her in her, school uniform all the time kind of helps.
She looks like a 20-year-old in a school uniform to me. It looks like, why are you're wearing that to make you look younger. The huge glasses are to make you look younger. The constant ponytail is to make you look younger, but you still don't. And I mean, her performance is perfectly fine. I bear her no animosity. It's just, I think as a casting thing, I wish she was younger.
It's not working.
It's not working for me.
Right.
If she was a college student living at home, I would have absolutely no problem with it.
I didn't really buy the whole setup of how they got to the sex talk, that
why would she leave it in midstream on her brother's laptop? If you're going to do that, you quit the bleep out of it before you
I know, you check your history 20 times. She's not that dumb.
That seems unlikely.
She's really not. She's not that dumb, and they used that to set up, obviously they had to have a way to get into the conversation.
Right.
But, and I did think it was funny when, Penelope thought she needed to have the sex talk with her younger child, and he's sitting on the couch with an Afghan over his head because he can't stand to look at her.
Yes.
That was very funny.
That was very good.
But yeah, she's supposed to be so smart.
Yeah.
Of course she's not going to do that unless it's the whole, you want to get caught so that you can talk about it.
Even if you want to get caught, I don't think you leave it on your brother's machine because, he's going to get caught. And then it's going to be, it could be bad for him. So I could see you leaving it on your own machine or leaving it on the TV or something. But, the next time the kid opens his computer, that's what he's going to see. I don't think you would want that. So, so that was a little convenient. But, it was well done. Both of them were very well done and enjoyable for some parts and thought-provoking for other parts. But I like the fun ones more.
Yeah.
I am a shallow person.
You just like your entertainment to entertain.
Yes, I do. But I didn't mind these. They were fine.
Yeah. So we thought the next time we would just go ahead and finish up season 1.
Yes.
Because we have 3 more episodes to go in season 1. So we're just going to bust them all out for next week. But should we move on to the challenge round?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I challenged you to watch a movie, which can be found on Netflix, called Sing Street. It came out in 2016. It's an Irish movie. Linda Holmes had written about it at her NPR,
I'll have to look that
NPR
up.
blog Monkey See. She included it on a list of best pop culture moments from 2016 or something like that. So it wasn't a whole review. It was it was just a sort of little mention.
Right. Something she saw that she enjoyed.
Yeah, which is kind of how I felt about it. It's not going to change the world, but it was really a nice portrait of this teenage boy in Dublin and dealing with his parents, his friends, his siblings, his girl he has a crush on, kind of everything that's going on in his world. What did you think?
I thought it was very enjoyable. I liked the music. I liked the performances. I loved hearing all the Irish accents. That was fun. And, it was slight but enjoyable, I guess is what I would call it. And, it doesn't bear a lot of analyzing because it's suspicious that they were pretty good. Like he's goes from not being able to find the right key to Take on Me in front of her house to being a pretty creditable opening, lead singer. Stuff was kind of easy, I thought. Yeah. But I would not have wanted to watch it be hard. Yeah. So it's just for what it is just very enjoyable to watch. I enjoyed the older brother and how he swung from wise to unbearably full of himself pretty much back and forth like a pendulum in any given scene, which is probably fairly accurate, but then very sweet at the end. And
the sister was completely superfluous. I don't know why she was there at all.
They could have done without her. But it was, they seem to overcome a lot of obstacles really quickly. The bully seems like he's going to be a threat, but then he never really is. The headmaster, I guess, is awful, but doesn't really stop them from doing anything except... I mean, I support him not wanting the guy to wear makeup because he looks silly, but that's an 80s thing, I guess. So, but I probably would not have dunked his face in the sink. Although it seems like worse things could have happened. He could have been, would they all have been expelled, or would their parents have been called in or something like that? I guess it was like a sketch of a brutal school without really ever coloring anything in.
I was waiting for, the priest to abuse him in some really horrible way.
Well, it was just kind of shorthand. It was shorthand for terrible school. Check. Yeah. Show it up a couple of scenes, and then you can just go and do your thing. So.
Yeah, and I enjoyed the, forming the band, just the sort of quirky characters, like the kid who loved his pet rabbit, and, the mother who just would scream at them for no reason.
Bop through.
Just goofy, but I don't think you don't see as much in movies like this with the sibling relationship. So that was kind of an extra twist, nice addition.
Yeah. So, I would recommend. I mean, I'm glad I watched it. I might watch it again. It's a good multitasking
because you got the music and the Irish accents.
Yeah, you got the music and the Irish accents, and it ain't that deep. There's not a lot of real profundity to it.
Pretty confident on what's going to happen and when and how.
Yeah, I'm glad that they ended the movie before they got to London and then were immediately robbed and killed and left in an alley. So
you can just there.
Yeah, kids, good luck. I'm sure this will work out.
Full of possibility.
Landing on the coast of Wales with no money and
full of possibility right now.
Your headshots.
Yeah,
you go, guys.
Exactly.
So
too funny. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yes, very cute, enjoyable. Thank you for getting me to watch it. As I said, I had heard of it, but never thought to watch it. So it was
fun little discovery,
very enjoyable
diversion.
Yeah, the kind of movie that is good to watch on Netflix.
Yes,
on your device of some sort, rather than going into the theater where it has to bear the weight of $10 for a ticket and $10 for a bucket of popcorn and sitting next to people who are using their phones and annoying you. So you just have your little experience, put your headphones in, enjoy it. Yeah. And very nice.
Good. So that is this week's challenge, Sing Street, and we're going to do another movie for next week, right?
Yes. I have been recently watching repeatedly the trailer for the upcoming Ocean's 8, which is a female version of Ocean's 11, with Sandra Bullock playing the George Clooney character's sister. I find that trailer really enjoyable, and it got me thinking about not the original Ocean's 11 with Sinatra, but the more recent original
Right.
Ocean's 11 with George Clooney and Brad Pitt and all of them. And I asked Catherine whether she had watched it, and she said, I'm not sure, which I think you would remember if you saw it. I'm not sure. But it is also a very enjoyable way to spend some time. And it's, everybody in their most charming mode.
Right.
So since we recently watched George Clooney waxing profound on David Letterman, now we get to watch him just be a movie star.
Yeah. So for next week, we will go back to the West Wing for at least 1 week.
Yes.
We're taking it a week at a time at this point.
We are putting a time delay on the West Wing because the West Wing Weekly keep
messing with
being
us
unclear
with
about their schedule.
With their
So if their podcast drops before we record our next episode, we will know whether there is one to watch or not. So we will be on a time delay for the next little while.
So, but for next week, the West Wing to watch is Red Haven's on Fire and the accompanying podcast from the West Wing Weekly podcast. And then we're going to finish that first season of One Day at a Time, episodes 11, 12, and 13. And then Ocean's 11. And that will be it for our round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes, including our daily speed rounds and our weekly group chats. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Bye, Terri.
Bye, Catherine.
Bye, everyone.